Hey guys, for today's tutorial I wanted to do something kind of galaxy inspired and a little bit extraterrestrial, and personally I really wanted to use some palettes I haven't used in a while, and for me that is the Morphe Boss Move palette right here that is upside down and the Dare to Create palette. You guys are going to totally roast me for this in the comments, and I honestly do not blame you. By all means roast me, I totally deserve it because it's kind of weird. But every time I go into my makeup bookcase, it's where I keep my makeup collection, I reach over these two palettes, the Boss Mood and the Dare to Create, to grab my James Charles palette. And I feel so bad for these two palettes because I actually really like them. I like the formula of them. However, I'm always going for that James Charles palette. I think it's because you guys are always asking me to do more tutorials with it, and I really love the vibrant colors of it, and let's be honest, it's the new palette that everybody's talking about. However, I just always feel really bad for these two palettes because I'm always reaching over them. So for today's look, I thought we would use them and then I don't have to feel bad anymore. When I told you it was weird, I totally was not kidding. Anyways, so you don't have to hear me being any more weird than I am. If you would like to see how I did this look, just stay tuned on watching. And I just spat everywhere. Yuck. I have like metal retainers in my mouth from when I had braces, and sometimes when I talk too fast, like I just spit and it's really gross and ugh. As always, I am going to go in with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eyeshadow Primer. And with this primer, I am just going to apply it all over my lid, up to my brow bone, in my inner kind of tear duct area, and underneath the eye. And then with a Real Techniques medium shadow brush, I'm just going to set my eyeshadow primer with a skin tone colored eyeshadow. I'm just doing a really light dusting too. I'm not doing anything like crazy pigmented, just enough to set the primer. So the first shade that we are going to go into is Stroke of Luck out of the Boss Mood palette by Morphe. I am going to go in with this Luxie 229 tapered blending brush. And then with Stroke of Luck, I am going to apply it into the inner third of my eye. I'm really focusing this color in the crease. I am not putting it on the lid. And I'm stopping where my eye color stops right here. So I want it in this inner third color, but I do not want to bring it out any farther. I'm also going to blend it upwards a little bit. I mean, like, dang, that is a look. I mean, just think if this was like the 2019 trend to just have like a pop of color in your inner third of your eye, like up in here, not in your inner corner, and then like some thick eyeliner. I mean, that would be a look. This palette is like the most awkward palette to hold on frame because it's so big. But I am going to go into the Morphe Dare to Create palette, and I'm going to dip into this indigo shade, this really deep blue shade, and I'm going to go in with a different Luxie 229 tapered blending brush. And then with indigo, I'm putting it right next to the green that we just applied. And I'm only putting this in the center of the lid. So I only want it where my eye color is. I don't want to bring it out any further because we are going to be adding purple there. And you don't have to really worry about blending right now. We're just really doing some color placement. Also with this shade, make sure that you are getting it into your crease pretty heavy as well. So the next shade I am going to go into is this really deep matte purple shade out of the Boss Mood palette. This one is called Transformer, and I am going to go in with a Morphe M507 brush. And then with Transformer, I am going to really heavily pack this into my outer V. I'm also going to kind of smoke it upwards, just a little bit. I'm just putting this as a color placement. I'm not really doing too much with it past that. And I'm also going to kind of fluff this into the blue. But I really want to focus this shade in the outer V, just because this is going to be the deepest shade of the look. You know what I hate is when you're doing your eyeshadow and then all of a sudden your skin does not want to hold pigment. Like I have this little stupid little dot right here. I don't know if you can see it, but like it does not want to hold pigment at all. And it's not like it's like dry or anything either. It just doesn't want to apparently hold the pigment down. Or whatever. I guess it's gonna get its way because I'm wearing dark eyeshadow. So it's going to be loud and proud like a little freckle. So to help me blend the blue into the purple, I am taking whatever is left on this brush that we had the blue pigment on and really buffing it around the edges of the purple. And then bringing it forwards to the blue. So what I'm doing is like little circular motions, just kind of blending the two colors together. Then I'm going to take whatever is left on the purple and do the exact same thing. So I'm just going right over the edge, just to blend the two together. You just want to go back and forth doing this until you get a really seamless blend. I'm actually just going to do these little circular motions with the brush that we had the blue pigment on all the way around the purple as well. I actually have decided I think I want to just do this look as purple, blue, and green. Originally I was going to do like a really hot pink above the purple, but I honestly think it would be just a little too much. I'm really liking how cool toned this look is where it's at right now. To help me blend out the edges, I am actually going to dip into my Karity matte palette, and I'm going to go into this shade called Feign. I believe it's F-E-I-G-N. I don't know how to say it correctly, but I am going to go in with my Sigma E35 tapered blending brush. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that faint shade, just a little bit on my brush. I barely want any product. And I'm just going to lightly dust this around the edge of that dark blue and purple mixture, just to give us a really kind of smoked out effect. And I'm not going over any of the green either, I'm only going over the blue and the purple. You definitely do not need to add this baby blue shade, but personally I just think it kind of adds just a little bit more of a pop to the look. And it kind of adds like a more brighter of a transition instead of that muted one that we had when we blended out indigo. But that's just a personal preference thing, but if you don't have a baby blue, you could just easily just blend out indigo with a little bit of a skin tone shade and you'll be able to get something very similar. And then off camera, I am going to cut my crease with my favorite Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair with a BH Cosmetics Flat Shader brush. This is by far the best brush I have found for doing a cut crease. If you are looking for a really nice brush, I do highly recommend this one. So once the concealer has dried, I am going to go back in with that Transformer shade, that matte purple, on that Morphe M507 brush. And I'm really packing this on that concealer edge. And you really want to make sure that your concealer is dry before you do this. I'm really heavily packing it on. So for my lid shade today, I'm actually not going to be using any of the shades out of the Morphe palettes. I honestly just do not like Morphe shimmers, other than the ones in the James Charles palette. I just find them that they're really lackluster. So I'm actually going to go into one of my favorite highlighters. This is the Ofra Cosmetics Pillow Talk highlighter, and I'm going to go in with a little flat brush from BH Cosmetics that's dampened. And then with this shade, I'm really packing it onto the lid. This palette is just so big. It's hard to like show you guys it on camera, like in its full on glory. But I am going to dip into the shade called Create, this berry shade out of the Dare to Create palette with a Sheena B shadow brush. Normally I would just fluff the purple into this kind of shimmery shade that we have going on, but for today I actually want to do something a little bit different. So I'm just going to take this Create shade and lightly pack it right next to that purpley shade that we put down earlier and right over the shimmer. I just want something a little bit more extra. And I'm only going to where my eye color starts right here. I don't want to go any farther. And then if you need to, you can go back in with that Morphe M507 with that little Transformer shade just to blend everything together. So here is where I'm at right now with the look, and then off camera I'm just going to do all of the finishing touches. So here is where I'm at right now with the look, and then to smoke out my lower lash line, I am going to go in with this Milani Supreme Kohl Kajal in Black is Black. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in my waterline. And then I'm also going to smudge this a little bit lower into my lashes. I'm not going too far, just enough to really kind of give ourselves enough room and enough product to smoke it down. So once you get the eyeliner applied, I am going to go in with this Eco Tools smudge brush with a little bit of Create out of the Dare to Create palette. And what I'm going to do is run this across the black eyeliner and smoke it downwards. So what I'm doing is I'm placing my brush right over the black and then doing back and forth motions to sweep it downwards. And I'm only going down about 1/8 of an inch. But you really want to watch how far you go down depending on your eye shape. And then once you get Create applied, the hot pink, I am now going to go into Feign out of the Karity matte palette, that baby blue shade, with an Eco Tools smudge brush, a different one though. And then with this shade, I am going to smoke out that Create shade. Just a little bit. I honestly forgot how much I really love the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. I don't use the waterproof version, I just use like the normal original one. But it makes my lower lashes look so good. It's like clumpy, but not clumpy, but like lengthening at the same time. It's literally the perfect mascara. I totally forgot how much I love it since I've been using my Pixie ones so much. But this one, if you're looking for a really nice one at the drugstore for like $5–6, get this one. You will not regret it. And then for an inner corner highlight, I'm also going to dip into one of my other Holy Grail palettes, which is the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit. And I'm going to dip into this green one called Lucky Clover with a Luxie pencil brush. Nothing feels more weird than when your lashes popping off. Like I can feel it's like coming loose a little bit on my inner corner. And I mean, I've used the same glue for like 3 years, like the Kiss black latex free one. And I never have problems with it. And then like the last week, my lashes always popped up on this eye in the inner corner, always. And I don't even know why. I think it's just because my eyes are a little bit more watery during winter, but it is so annoying. And then with a damp brush, I am going to apply Lucky Clover into my inner corner. I'm also bringing it underneath into this little tear duct area as well. But I'm really making sure that I do not mix the purple in with this green shade all that much, since with color theory, green and purple do not mix. So here is the finished look. It is definitely more on the Galaxy and extraterrestrial type of vibe. And honestly, I just really wanted to use my Morphe palettes. I don't normally use these ones all that much. The Boss Mood and the Dare to Create, I've only used them, I think like 3 or 4 times each, if that. I don't really gravitate towards them for some odd reason. I think it's just because they're not like super crazy bright, and normally I really love my bright and crazy eyeshadows. But for today's look, I really wanted to use them since I don't use them all of that much. I also want to mention for lips today, I did go in with Delicious by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I really love this liquid lipstick paired with cool toned eyeshadows, especially like your purples and blues. I think it pairs really well since it kind of has like this purple undertone, but it's not like a brown purple. It's more like a gray purple, and I think it just pairs perfectly with it. And it also kind of gives you a different kind of feel than if you did like a black or like a gray itself. I don't know, I just find it a really interesting color. In the comments down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this look, as well as let me know what kind of lipstick color that you gravitate towards. Personally, I gravitate towards like pinky mauves or like brown toned lipsticks, you know, like Androgyny. This one in Delicious, I really like things with like a purpley brown type of undertone or like a gray purple. I don't know why either. For years I was not the biggest fan, and then now all of a sudden I own too many of them. As always, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below, and if you would like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is @lethal_kitten. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and until next time, bye!